All right, so welcome everybody to class at whatever time you might be joining. So those of you that are here live and in person, it's awesome. I remember, and my name's Kathy for those of you that we may not have met. Yeah, I was just thinking this morning, I've told this story before, but I can remember when I was maybe 3 or 4 years old, and back in the day when parents used to just kind of throw us out into the yard, and I was locked in with a fence, but I would just stand out in the backyard feeling very lonely and call out over across the street, or whoever could hear me, just, does anybody want to come over and play with me? So metaphorically, I've put the call out, and here you are. So thank you just for showing up. It's a huge act of self-care and compassion, just to show up. It doesn't matter what, the expectations may be here, and that can sometimes put us in a, for whatever we expect to get from our yoga practice. We set the bar high. We should feel this or that, or get peaceful and slow down, and then we feel the opposite and feel that we've had some sort of a failure. So not at all. We're just wanting to be present and welcome, inviting all of the sensations in the body, the thoughts and emotions, and there's so much going on. So thanks for coming. And Elizabeth, welcome. So for practice today, I've got, it's always good just to have anything that's in your own furniture around. You can always use it. If you don't have anything, that's fine. I've got myself set up with a blanket, and that's going to be up to start with underneath my shoulders, and a pillow for underneath the thighs. But you don't need to have any of this stuff. Something to sit on at some point, whether that just be the ground, or if you need to get up to a couch or chair, always good. We won't do a lot of sitting. Sometimes it's nice to have a bathrobe belt or anything you can use as a strap. It's a restore and refresh class, so it's not hugely active at all, but we are always moving energy and flushing things out, even when we're holding poses for a little bit of time. Everything is invitation, so one of my intentions for us is to just really be okay to say no to things, anything. It was mentioned, maybe some ouchiness in the knees or any other type of injury or pain that you have, to take all of that into consideration and to modify. So let's begin. So as I mentioned, just having this, it's very low, this blanket that I've got folded up, could be a towel, and it's going to act as a Band-Aid. It's coming in the area behind the heart, and it'll be down, not into the lower back, but low enough that the heads of the shoulders, a lot of the maybe half of the shoulder blades are on the ground, and the head is resting easily, so it doesn't feel that it's falling back in space. If you have a ponytail holder, you might want to take that out. Can move around a little bit here, so it feels really comfortable. I've got this blanket low enough down that my arms can be spread wide away from each other, with the palms rolling up or rolling open towards the ceiling. And then that pillow or something that is acting as a bolster underneath your thighs, your legs can extend over that, and maybe take the legs a little bit wider than you might normally, so it feels like you're in a star shape. Lots of other options for this pose. So you can have your knees bent and your knees falling into touch instead, if that's better for your lower back. We just want to come to a place of ease and feel that we're landing in our bodies and taking up some space. And if it's chilly in your home yoga studio, can add another blanket. moving and shifting until you feel some relative settling, some ease. That might need you to move your neck from side to side, nod the head, wiggle the feet a little bit. Let's open the jaw really wide. Might be some locking in that area, the face. Sometimes there's an expression on the face that's bringing some things into class that we might not even be aware of. We maybe have been at work or still at work in our mind. And some of that tension will show up in the face. So just see what you can release around the jaw. Maybe a few sighs, some conscious and deeper breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just to signal that we're shifting gears here. Turning our attention inward and to perhaps help with setting an intention for the practice. I'm going to read a poem that I read at a class earlier this week at the end of the class. So we'll start with it at the beginning of this session, called Forget About Enlightenment. Sit down wherever you are and listen to the wind singing in your veins. Feel the love, the longing, the fear in your bones. Open your heart to who you are right now, not who you would like to be, not the saint you are striving to become, but the being right here before you, inside you, around you. All of you is holy. You are already more and less than whatever you can know. Breathe out, touch in, let go. Let's let our awareness settle into the feet, any sensations that are down in the lowest region of the body. Just the weight of the heels or the soles of the feet, whatever's touching the ground. Whatever you can feel without straining or striving. Moving the awareness into the upper part of the legs, the thighs and the quads, any tightness or tenderness that might be here. Just touching base briefly with these areas of the body, the pelvis, the wide flat bones of the sacrum that are settling into the ground. And sensations of the breath flowing in and out as the belly rises and falls. Some appreciation, some gratitude for these organs, these parts of our beingness that keep us alive, that are easy to take for granted. The ribs widening. And if there's a support behind the heart, you might feel that the heart is just slightly elevated above the rest of your shape, expanding the chest as the breath, without any effort, just comes in and out. Feeling into the arms, the shoulders, and the hands, any sensations that are here in the hands, in the fingers. Maybe there's been some texting and typing or gripping. The back of the neck, the throat, touching base with the bony region at the back of the skull, the protective support around the brain, and all of the awesome functioning, the higher thinking, planning, calculating, judging, assessing, all of those important functions of the brain that are still active and just doing their best to protect us and keep us on track, and maybe getting a little into overdrive, just being aware of all of that. Checking in with the face. Once again, the jaw. Maybe some sensations of breath at the tip of the nose. The eyes, the forehead. All of the senses that are perceived to be in this area, the ears, the awareness that there are some sounds in the space, welcoming all of what it is to be alive here this morning, and also aware that there's a gathering, a sangha, a community, all just trying to feel a little bit more connected in our bodies, with ourselves and with each other. Let's begin to just stretch out the legs if the knees have been bent, or you can take the pillow, anything you had underneath your thighs, and take a big stretch out. Let's roll over to one side just to take that support out from underneath the upper back if you had it there. You can move it off to the side, or you can use it as a little bit of a support for the head, and come on back down. Let's hug the knees in towards the chest for a squeeze. And have the hands on tops of the kneecaps and do some tiny circles around on the ceiling. Knees can be apart or together, just to feel and massage out some tension in the lower back. So you can think of today as some spa treatment for yourself. We'll get into all of the crooks and crannies, moving some energy. Let's change direction with those circles. And then let's bring the feet to the floor and take the feet quite wide. Let the knees fall into touch. We'll open the arms away from the body just so they won't interfere with the legs. And we'll start to take the knees over towards the right. Just a simple, maybe familiar movement. As the left hip lifts up a little bit, let's take a breath in there. And let it go. Another breath like that, breathing in. Feeling that expansion through the left ribs, that hip flexor psoas, the quad a little bit, and then exhale again. Let's take the knees back to center and pause and let them fall into touch again for a breath in. And exhaling to take the knees over towards the left, wiggling the feet a little bit apart. You can come to the edges of your feet so the soles of the feet are exposed to the side a little bit there, and adjust your legs so they're comfortably wide. Your right bum cheek is lifted off the ground, and just shifting your bones in the shape so that you feel something interesting in that right side body. Front of the hip as you take a couple of full breath cycles here, and if possible, if the sinuses are clear, breathing in and out through the nose. You can use the sound of your breath as an anchor to invite your attention to be at rest. Let's bring the knees back up. Let's go one more time over towards the right. And then back up on the inhale and exhale over towards the left. And then bring the soles of the feet together as you come back to center. Let the knees fall open. Soles of the feet are together or closer together. And then heel toe the feet wide apart and let the knees fall into touch. You can just rest your arms at your sides, or they can be on your abdomen, wherever it's comfortable. Let's do that a few times. So heel toe, the soles of your feet come together so your knees fall open. And then plant the feet on the floor and heel toe, feet wide as your mat's width as the knees come into touch. Walking it open. Maybe breathing in as the knees open up, and then the exhale walks the knees back together, or whatever makes sense in a way of breathing to you. So you can move slower or quicker as we do that a couple of more times. If you'd like to pause it all and just stay in either one of these, we're internally and externally rotating in the hips. Next time you come back to knees open. And if you have, if this bothers your knees and you'd like to tuck blocks or pillows underneath your thighs, you can do that. Let's take the arms into wide wings and then wrap the right elbow underneath the left elbow, just in front of your chest, and reach around, or just let your hands drop so that it's like you're giving yourself a hug. And through some of these postures, your eyes could be closed. You could just be gazing down the tip of your nose. Still aware of a vision, that there is a visual field, whether there's something to see in front of you on the ceiling, or just the colors behind your eyelids, just as another anchor into the present. Let's open up the arms to breathe in. And let's exhale the other way. So left elbow under right elbow, reach around and give yourself a hug. Couple more times. Breathe into open wings and exhale to hug. The inhale opens up the arms, and the exhale squeezes the opposite way. Let's bring the hands now to the upper thighs and use the hands to bring the knees back towards the ceiling and let your feet separate hips distance apart. Let's press the low back down towards the floor without lifting up your tailbone. You'll feel it curl up towards the ceiling and feel the core muscles engaged. So some pelvic rocking, relax the hips, let a little bit of breeze blow underneath your low back, and then exhale, press your low back down towards the floor. The entirety of your feet are on the floor, maybe a little lift in the arches as you rock back and forth. Feeling your low back press down and your ribs knit down towards your hips. Getting as much of your lower back onto the floor as possible, and then just relaxing that. Arms can be at your sides, pressing down to help a little bit, or they can press the thighs away, the palms. Just feeling that movement in your hips a couple more times. Let's feel all the way up now. So let your hands be at your sides and lift the hips and reach the knees long, so more of your back is lifted off the floor, but you don't have to come to your highest spot. And then peel it all the way back down on the exhale. Lengthen out through the tailbone and relax. Breathe in. Press the low back down as you exhale and peel the hips up. A little bit of the upper back. Just whatever feels good, and roll it down. Just staying curious and playful in your movement as you rock through back and forth with your own breath and time. Coming through your version of a bridge pose. Let's try coming up into the bridge and just pausing there for a moment, however high or low that you are. If it feels okay in your shoulders, reach the arms as well and lengthen them behind. Take a breath in there. Keep the arms just resting on the ground wherever they are, and then lower down the upper back, the mid back, down to the tailbone for a breath. And then exhale, lower the arms and breathe in at the bottom. Press the low back down. Let's lift the hips again on the inhale. Exhale, just staying there. And then reach the arms up on the inhale. And the exhale will lower everything down, coming down through all the vertebra. The inhale lowers the arms this time, and the exhale presses the low back. The hips are going to lift, inhale, and exhale, just pause, soften. Arms reach up on the inhale, and the exhale brings everything down except the arms. The inhale will bring the arms down, and the exhale presses the low back down. One more time, lift the hips on the inhale. And exhale, stay. Add the arms reaching up and back, inhale. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, arms come down. Exhale, let's squeeze the knees in towards the chest one more time. Take the knees a little wider this time, rocking from elbow to elbow. You can just let your heels hang in heavy, so a version of a dynamic happy baby pose. Rocking side to side in the crib. Let's bring the feet to the floor again. Cross the right ankle above the left ankle. We'll keep the left foot on the floor and move the arms away from the body again, and just rock across the left foot. Rocking from the big toe edge to the baby toe edge. So getting a little deeper massage. You can make this small movement, or it can become bigger, tipping more over towards the left with your knees, and then over towards the right. Just feeling that in your hip, and the whole pelvis from side to side, one side feeling different. And we'll stay here in the center. Press the thighs away, or go ahead and draw the left thigh in towards the chest for a figure four shape. If you feel any pain in that right knee, give a stronger flex to the right ankle, or just lower the left foot back towards the floor. You can use your hands or your bathrobe belt strap around your left hamstring. For 3 breaths there. It's 1, 2, and 3. Let's bring the left foot down and dangle the right knee over the left knee so that you're more like you're sitting in a chair. Squeeze your inner thighs together. And from that way, draw the thighs in towards the chest. Again, either your hands or strap around your left hamstring, or your hands can just be on your right shin. Going to feel a little more of a piriformis stretch, a little different from the glute stretch that we just did. If you're not feeling much, you can come up a little bit and grab your shins or your feet and pull them apart, but do come back down so that your head is resting on the ground. Let your tailbone be long. In whatever way you can feel a stretch from the outer right glute there, along and down the outer right thigh into that piriformis for 3, 2, and 1. Let's release the legs. Uncross the legs. Give the hips a little bounce, or whatever feels good in center. You can do some shaking, jiggling, kick things, loosen up through the knees there after some of that bending. I'm going to kick my feet in the air and shake my arms too, just to bring a little more warmth and energy into the body. Shifting things around and the blood flowing through all the joints. Take a deep breath in wherever you are and exhale through the mouth. Bring it back down. Let's do the other side. So we'll cross the left ankle over the right knee. Right away, just being aware of any issues that you might have in your knees. That left knee can help to have some activity in your left ankle, drawing the toes towards the knee on that side. And then shifting, moving the arms away from the body so you have a a platform in an A-frame shape and rocking across the sole of the right foot. A little bit of core engagement still, so we get some juice through the abdomen, and the twist is mostly in the lower part of the rib cage. Small, or you can take it to a bigger. Shifting knees that might come all the way down over towards the left with the left thigh. Or you might touch your left foot down on the right. That may be nowhere near happening for this body on this side this morning, or whenever this is for you. So let's settle back into the center, a bit of symmetry, pressing the thighs away or using the hands or your strap to bring your right thigh in. So the figure 4 shape, familiar for some of us, might be different on this side. Following the in and out of the breath. If your mind is super active, no problem. Just returning to restart again, to follow the length of your inhale, the length of the exhale. It's all a practice. Let's lower the right foot if it was lifted now, and dangle the left knee over the right. So just more relaxed. If you were flipped over to head to ceiling, you'd be sitting in a chair cross-legged. Let's hug the thighs in towards the chest, and you can either just kind of hold onto your left shin or wrap your hands around your right hamstring, or tuck the chin and grab your shins or your feet and draw them away from each other. And then nestle your head back onto the ground or whatever pillow you might have underneath there. Lengthening out through the tailbone. It's a bit difficult maybe to breathe in this shape. You feel something in the left outer glute, the left line of the outer hamstring there on the left leg. One more breath in and out. Uncrossing, lowering, and one more time, either a bounce or a few of those bridges or another shake up, shaking things. And then we'll all make our way over towards the right side of the body. We're going to stay on the ground and have the hands out in front, or the arms kind of tucked underneath your right shoulder. You could have use your long blanket as a pillow if you prefer. It's not necessary. You could also put something between your thighs. The idea here is to be almost like you're sitting in a chair at the side, so that the knees can stay together. So the arms are stretching forward. And then we'll take the in-breath to open up and do a sweep or a wave of the left fingers, and we'll follow those fingers with our gaze. And then we'll bring the left fingers back to meet the right fingers and let the tip of the nose roll towards the floor. So it's that wave on the inhale to open up the left shoulder, head and neck are also moving with this. And then bringing the left fingers back. Maybe they even reach a little further ahead of the right hand. Watching that the knees are just staying on the close towards each other. They will move a little bit as you wave this out. Reaching and then opening again. And really anything goes on this side. You could explore tracing a semicircle above your head with the left fingers, and then open into a cactus shape over on the left side. Spread that wing wide and then bring it back across your chest and over. It's just one suggestion. So just exploring some shapes with this left arm, left side of the rib cage. Could go all the way down towards your hip. You could do that movement in the opposite direction. Pause anywhere you like. Taking a few more rounds. And then let's just open into stillness for 5 breaths with the left arm to whatever has be a comfortable spot. So if you need to adjust your knees or have your left arm, could even just be resting on your side. Just a little more of an opening across the chest. If the left shoulder is on the ground and it's comfortable for your neck to settle with the gaze to the left, that's 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's just come back over to the right, pause. And then we'll shift over onto the tummy. You can rest your forehead palm on palm for a moment and wiggle out the hips. If you're not sure about lying on your tummy, you could put a pillow underneath your tummy or underneath your rib cage. Helps to have a little more ease and length in the lower back if you're not sure about that. And then we're going to keep our forehead and our palms together, lift the elbows, and then lift the head and the hands. So this is where you might welcome something underneath your lower ribs, your tummy, and then lower that back down. We're just going to do that a couple times. So reach the tailbone long. Your legs can be pretty relaxed. It's just a very low extension. So we may just come off an inch or 2 off the floor and then lower that down. And we'll come up one more time. And then we'll spread the fingertips wide, right off your mat, and use the arms this time with the elbows lifted to draw yourself through a little, maybe a little more extension here. And we'll drop the left shoulder and take a look over towards the right. And back through, inhale. And right shoulder drops, looking to the left. Inhale through center. And exhale, lower. Let's take the palms, and I'm going to suggest a child's pose, but if you prefer just to roll onto your back and hug your knees in, you can do that. Otherwise, if it feels good for you to move right back in towards a child's pose. Lift the fingertips, let the palms be slightly elevated off the ground to stretch out the back of the wrists. So either on your back or on your knees. Focusing some attention into the back body as you breathe wide. Ribs, kidneys, those organs of just flushing out, detoxifying, restoring. We'll shift over onto the other side. So however you like to do that, if you'd like to just come down through a plank to the ground. And we'll shift over to do the second side. So I'm just facing the camera here. So we're going to be on our left side of rib cage this time. You can put something between your shins or knees if you like. It'll be the left arm, left shoulder, and the palms are coming towards each other. You can also support the head, or just let it be on the floor, reaching the right fingertips a little bit forward and then opening up the right arm. Inhale the wave and then exhale. Bring the right fingertips back towards meeting the left. Follow the fingertips with the gaze as you roll open. And then close it back up. Exploring on this side might be quite different depending on the shoulder. And see if it's helpful for you to be engaging with the breath in this way, opening and closing. Breathing in one way and breathing out the other way. You can add a semicircle around your top of your mat, cactus shape with the arm. And then straighten out that wing and bring it back. Ooh, a few cracks and pops might be going on. Seeing if you're able to feel a little more synchronicity with your neck and shoulders and this arm, the rib cage, this entire thoracic spine. So the knees might be trying to come apart. Squeeze your knees together or the pillow as you change directions or do any shapes here. You can pause, open in the twist. Adjusting your ribs might need to shift a little more to the left. Your knees might need to lower if you can come into a quiet shape for a few breaths. We position our bodies with some kindness and curiosity into different shapes in order to facilitate a new pathway for the breath, some health in the digestive organs. Wherever you are, let's take another deep breath in. And exhale, exhale, wring it all out. Let's come on back to the side facing. And one more time, taking it onto the tummy. Resting the forehead down, shaking out the hips. And then let's move it into a Sphinx pose. So again, you can use the pillow. We'll just bring the elbows in line with the shoulders. Hands can be clasped here. If you are feeling this is not safe in your lower back, then there's the pillow, or there's walking your elbows further forward. So it can feel really nice to have your elbows quite a ways forward, so more of your ribs are going to be on the ground. You can be looking towards your hands, or you can let the chin drop in so it doesn't feel like your neck is straining. It could be nice if you do have your hands together in front of you, either to take your thumbs to your forehead, just between the eyebrows there, rest your forehead so the head doesn't have to be, the weight of the head is supported. Or your palms can hold your face. Making some connection again with this area of the body where there's so much going on, the expressions on the face, that we show each other, the way those subtle forms of communication that are more powerful than words. Might have that knot between the eyebrows from concentrating that can come across as looking a little intense or even angry. Just seeing if you can hold the face with some compassion here. Of course, the intensity in poses, even though they're intended to be gentle, can increase, especially in that lower back area if you need to lower down, to place your forehead back on your hands anytime. Do that. We'll take 3 more breaths wherever that is. Seeing if you can feel some breath in the back body, that's 2. And 1, let's shift. We'll press down by the low ribs to come up and back, and you're welcome to come through child's pose again or take it onto your seat for a seated version with the soles of the feet together in a long diamond shape. And from there to drape the head forward. For some, it might be nice to be lifted up a little bit. Placing that cushion underneath, sort of on, letting my sits bones just be on the forward edge of that makes a huge difference. Getting some flexion in the spine. Can be helpful to have an anchor for your attention, as of course it's going off into time traveling. Might be to interiorly just repeat the words in and out as the breath does that. Let's start to shift back up. Lean back, and we'll take the knees just like we did when we were on the ground, over from one side to the other. I'm going to have a pigeon pose today. So there's a variety of ways to take the pigeon pose. And for the those that where it bothers the knees to be up, then it can be the version on the back that we did before, the figure 4 shape. Options for being upright. I'm going to show a bent knee pigeon pose. So the front shin is my left shin is out in front, relatively parallel with the edge of your mat, or if I was sitting towards the front of the mat, then that left shin is parallel with the short edge of the mat. It could be that your seat is up on a cushion as well, or your blanket. Again, makes a big difference. Hands on either side of that front foot, and then walking forward to take a little bit of a bow. I'm going to do a few of those, just changing, having a bow over towards the left knee, and then over towards the right knee. And then to center, just seeing how it is to move your torso around here. You might come onto your elbows, and again, you can use your hands to rest your forehead on, or pile up some other supports. You could stack fist on fist, or just be upright, more upright, no problem. So otherwise, just continuing to work a little more into the hips on your back in that figure 4 shape. Lots of accumulation here in the hips with the stuckness of emotions and couch sitting, just physical postures, the cold. Let's walk the hands back up. Either lying on the back, you can kick your legs in the air again a few times, or if you're sitting, just drum out the legs before we do the second side. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Windshield wiper a little the ankles. Some jiggling. And then, so the second side, the right shin forward parallel with the edge of your mat, and then the left knee is bent. Optional if you have something that you like to lift your sits bones up on. It's a pillow. Adjusting that front leg. So the knee is relatively in line with the hip. It can be a little over to the side. There's nothing, no right or wrong here, just so that you're not feeling any pain at all. Will be completely useless. So you might just sit, or if it's available, walk the hands forward on either side of the shin. Could be staying quite upright and just incline the ribs a little to the left, a little to the right. Just these little twisting, adjusting ribs movements to see where you feel that more in the hip. If it's available to you and you are coming down, walking the hands further or bringing the elbows down. You might have something to place underneath your forehead. Softening the gaze or closing the eyes for 3 more conscious breaths in, out, your own pace. The goal of a practice like this is just to begin again without judgment, walking the hands back, helping that leg to come forward again. If you're on your back, you can bring your knees in towards your chest. If you're sitting, let's just hug in, hands underneath the thighs or hands underneath in front of the shins, and take a seated version of a child's pose. And then let's boost ourselves up, or in any way that you can sit comfortably for a moment before we take final rest. I'll use my cushion. You can sit on the edge of your couch or a chair. And let's reach the arms up on the inhale. And then reach the arms wide on the exhale. You can move your head with that. That feels good. Looking up on the inhale. And then exhale, bringing the chin down towards the chest. Let's reach up this time. And bring the right fingertips down. Walk them off to the side a little bit back, and let's take a side stretch. Exhaling. Let's breathe in and come back up. Left fingertips down. You can bend the left elbow and take a side stretch. Exhale. Inhale back up. Let's come over towards the right. Exhale. Inhale and exhaling to the left. Inhale, this time coming over towards the right. Reach the left arm up and let it rest behind the back of the head. So my right fingertips are behind my hip a little bit, and I'll start to square shoulders towards the right, bringing the left elbow over to the right a bit, and then open left elbow to the sky. Inhale, leaning back, a little upper back bend, and then exhale, left elbow coming over towards the right, squaring the shoulders. Once more in and out. Left hand to right shin or right thigh, right fingertips walking behind for a little deeper twist for 3. Looking off to the side and softening the shoulder heads down for 2. And 1, come back to center, just take a little counter twist to the left. And then through center again, both arms reach up, inhale. Left fingertips come down and off and back a little bit Coming into the side stretch, reach up through the right arm. Rest the right hand top of the head or behind the head, lean back a little bit. And then exhale, bring the right elbow over towards the left, square the shoulders, left side, open on the inhale. The left side of the ribs are wrapping under, and then exhale, right side of the rib cages, squaring to the left. Once more, open it up. And exhale, there's a bit of a cat shape in your spine. And then bring the right hand down. Sit up a little taller, walk the left fingers around for 3 breaths here. Twisting to the left. Staying buoyant through the breastbone for 2. And 1, come back to center. Right ear, right shoulder. Tip of the nose down towards the right. Slow sweep through center. Left ear, left shoulder. Tip of the nose to the left. Through center. And just take a couple rounds on your own of exploring the neck, looking over one side and then the other. Let's come back to center and roll the shoulders out. 3 big circles in each direction. And then fly the arms wide, face the palms back. Reach around, you can clasp your hands if that's available, or just have the thumbs come a little bit closer together and send the palms towards the ceiling for 3. Squeezing between the shoulder blades for 2. And 1, release. Release from your seat. Bring your pillow or blanket onto your back. We'll take a supported inversion. So on the back, we'll lift the hips up and slide something. Could be your flat blanket rolled up a couple times, or a pillow underneath your seat for a supported bridge pose. Or you can let your legs float up there. Could be really nice just to wiggle out through the ankles. There's quite a bend at the knees so that we're feeling as little effort as possible. Turning the thigh bones in and out, in and out. Spreading the toes, pointing and flex. Might go for another roll out of the jaw. Any shapes that you like up here. You might use your hands to support your thighs, inner or outer thighs, as you take your legs into a bit of a V. Or crisscrossing, keeping some bit of movement going, some bicycling. And then let's lower the feet to the floor. Take the support, if you had something underneath your seat, out. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Lengthen the legs. If you care for a blanket, you can add that. We're just going to squeeze one more time everything. So just squeeze the facial muscles, the hands, fists, the toes towards the face. Draw the belly in and just tighten everything up. Hug the shoulders up towards the ears and contract every muscle you can find. And then just let that go. Returning to where we began, yet not the same in any way. Softening the gaze, closing the eyes if that's comfortable. returning awareness to just the simple act of being present to the body, lying down and knowing that we're lying down. I'll read that poem one more time as you enjoy just a minute or two of complete non-doing. Sit down wherever you are and listen to the wind singing in your veins. Feel the love, the longing, the fear in your bones. Open your heart to who you are right now, not who you would like to be, not the saint you are striving to become, but the being right here before you, inside you, around you. All of you is holy. You are already more and less than whatever you can know. Breathe out, touch in, let go. If you have the desire, if you have the time to rest longer, please. Give yourself that. This is the hardest pose of the practice, just to be with it all, the noise. So good job. And if you're ready to move on, bring some vibrations to the fingers and toes, small movements, or bigger if you feel like taking a stretch out. You can roll over to one side. Take another moment, just rest your head on your bottom arm. And then come back to close the practice, sitting upright and comfortable, just sitting, knowing that we're sitting. And once again, opening up the awareness to this community, this Sangha. Gratitude for our own practice, the effort that it took to show up, and so much appreciation for each other's beingness together. May the merits of our practice be in some way beneficial to impact our thoughts and speech actions as we move out into whatever's coming next. Enjoy your day. Namaste.